Welcome to Marku 42's Hooniverse, Doctor Who Hooniverse, that is. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten, and with me are my co-hosts...
Patricia-Helm.
And, Mr. Thursday. Oh, God, I saw something astonishing. Thud.
I think he fainted.
And this is Mr. Rogers. Hello, children. Can you say Sutek? I knew that you could. Yeah.
Can we have your real names, please?
Oh.
Okay, Eduardo-m-Freyre.
I'm Christian-basel with the Legend-of-the-Traveling-tardis Facebook page.
The Legend-of-the-Traveling-tardis. Boy,
okay, I'm counting that as a plug.
That's a plug. Drink.
That's a plug.
It is.
That's
Drink
it.
Take
a shot.
And our first year celebration, May 19th. Over 2,000 pictures.
May 19th, and you know what? May 18th is a special day too, isn't it? That's the name of the Doctor.
Yep, that's right.
and you can meet Christian and myself at Hurricane Who's Series 7 finale party at the Metropore Orlando West. I guess it's a pub or a bar. Christian, you've been there before.
It's a family-style sports bar.
It's a sports bar that we're going to watch Doctor Who at.
They have an indoor and outdoor seating. It was actually quite nice. A little tight, a little spacey, but they actually had, I'm hoping they have this time around, they actually had the TARDIS where people could take pictures within, some special merchandise, and lots and lots of people to talk to and socialize and get to know fellow Whovians. It was awesome.
Hey, maybe we'll record some of them for our broadcast.
I think we should.
I think so, too.
And hey, worst case, if they don't have their own TARDIS, Christian, of course, has the one that he always carries around. So
if you're there, you will see.
You have so congratulations, Who fans! You have your choice of TARDIS-I.
The official word is TARDISes. If you go with Terrence Dix, it's TARDISes.
Oh, okay. If hanging around with Christian and Mark isn't your scene, you could always go to the Tamarack Theater in Broward and see me perform some improvisational comedy.
I think everyone's getting drunk now. What day is that? And where can they look for information on that?
Yeah, that is, well, it's the Tamarack Theater in Tamarack, Florida, up in Broward County, and that's going to be, it's going to be same it's going to be May 18th at 8 o'clock. Tickets are, of course, on sale now for $20, or you can pay $25 at the door. So we're going to have comedy sketches, musical acts, and it's all hosted by actress Beverly Boner, who was in the cult classic Basket Case.
Oh, what a
scary movie
film that was! Yeah,
scary movie, not for the kiddies.
No. But you know what? I think we've had enough of this shameless self-plugging. I think it's time for...
It's now time for Doctor Who News with our Doctor Who correspondent, Patricia-Helm. Patricia, according to the news desk, you have some important news regarding a certain anniversary.
Yes, I do want to talk about the 50th anniversary, but I want to... First, do you want to start off with a spoiler?
Oh, yes, I'll hit the switch.
Hit the switch.
Well, actually, this spoiler, this first one is about Nightmare in Silver, which is, the episode that's coming up next week. Okay. The 11th Doctor will be captured by his foes, and they will dig into his mind and all of his many previous regenerations. It has been reported that the former actors who held the role over the years, including William Hartnell and John Pertwee, will flash up on screen during this, whatever they're doing to him.
Wow.
But
it's kind. I guess it'll kind of be like a Brain of Morbius kind of flashing on the screen, where they just have the face or something.
Well, Brain of Morbius, 11th Hour,
Yeah, one of those.
One of those where they just show like previous regenerations and.
A tip of the hat.
Yeah, the tip of the hat.
Now, unfortunately, that might be the closest we get to seeing the previous Doctors on any episode soon.
What else we got, Trish?
They released a synopsis for the name of the Doctor. Every journey taken by a time traveler tears a wound in the fabric of reality, and the Doctor has time traveled more than anyone. But the trail runs cold in Trenzalore, the one place in all of time and space that he should never go. The most dangerous place in the universe. Who is kidnapping the Doctor's friends, leading him to Trenzalore? Could the fall of the 11th be nigh? Or does the impossible girl hold the key? The Doctor's past, present, and future lives are in grave danger, and his greatest secret is about to be revealed.
And Harry Potter will save them all.
Now, some other interesting stuff about the name of the Doctor is that Richard E. Grant is going to be back as Dr. Simeon.
The Great Intelligence.
Yes. And interestingly enough, this was reported in Doctor Who magazine this week, that, we all know that River is going to be returning to this episode. But it says it's going to be a post-library River song.
What?
Ah.
What? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, all right. So I guess what? They somehow rescued River from her death, from being
Well, no, there are images of the Doctor. Why? Maybe she's still in the library. Maybe they go to the library is involved in this episode.
Maybe. I mean, I just hope it's not something where, just because Stephen Moffat wants to keep Alex Kingston's number on his speed dial, they just all of a sudden hand wave and go, oh, no, here she is alive. Because, I mean, I don't know, that whole thing with the library, it seemed kind of permanent.
It did, didn't it?
I mean, is Stephen Moffat now going to take a page from comics where, oh, no, they're just alive, with no, real explanation?
Well, maybe they'll have the explanation.
They also said in this episode there's going to be more snogging. So, Eddie,
snogging.
Cover your eyes. Yeah.
Oh, hanky-panky on the TARDIS.
And Moffat says that there hasn't been a proper doom-fraught episode in a while. If this episode is about anything, it will be about death. There is a funeral atmosphere, literally. And one question, will everyone make it to the end of the episode alive? No.
Oh.
It says, will we at last learn the true identity of Clara, the impossible girl? Yes.
Oh!
Will the Doctor's greatest secret be revealed?
Took him long.
Possibly on that one.
Oh, brother.
But they're keeping the ending of the episode very secret. But they're saying after this episode, nothing will ever be the same again.
Some things will never be the same.
Trenzalore is really Costco. And everybody's just running over there. They have a big sale on DVDs.
Well, on Saturday, May 11th, there is going to be a prequel to The Name of the Doctor that will be put up online. It's going to be called He Said, She Said. And the synopsis for that is, shot in a dreamlike style and set in a dusty old museum, He Said, She Said will see the Doctor and companion Clara talking directly to the camera as they reflect on how little they really know about one another.
Oh, okay. That sounds interesting.
So that will be...
Gee, it's like a reality show.
And you know how people like reality shows nowadays. That aren't us.
Yeah, not me.
That aren't us.
In the name of the Doctor, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Hey.
Okay, moving on to the, let's get to news about the 50th anniversary. They were doing some filming for the 50th this week, and some interesting pictures popped up online. Did anybody else see them? They recreated the famous opening scene of the very first episode, An Unearthly Child.
Wow.
They had a policeman walking past the Totter's Lane sign.
Uh-huh.
But the policeman was in modern clothing this time.
Right.
And then there's also a shot of a sign for the Coal Hill Secondary School, which is, of course, that's where, Ian and Barbara worked.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
That should be interesting to find out what that's all about.
Now, is it going to be something, or is it just sort of a bone to toss to the old fans? It's like, hey, look, there's the junkyard. Hey, look, there's the school. I mean, is there something to that, or is it just kind of a cute little Easter egg?
We can only wait and find out, which leads into the biggest story of this week, which was that Doctor Who magazine reported that none of the classic Doctors will be back for the 50th, and the only other Doctor that's going to be making an appearance is David Tennant.
Big disappointment. Big disappointment. Thank God for Big Finish audio productions.
Yeah, it's I honestly I know that they released They released the trailer for Light at the End again this week, and I just every time I listen to it, I find myself thinking, was there ever, I never thought I'd see the day when I'm more excited about what Big Finish is doing than I am about what BBC is doing. And I don't know, nothing against Big Finish, but shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't I be really excited about what the BBC is going to do?
I agree. It's like whoever wrote this audio drama, which in fact it's going to be a 2-hour drama too. So I mean it's even going to be longer than the television special, which they're saying is just going to be an hour, and it's going to be 5 doctors, plus Leela, Nyssa, Perry, Ace, and Charlie. It's going to include Oliver Hume as an early incarnation of Straxus, who's a Time Lord that's been in several of the audio dramas. John Dorney as Bob Dovey, and Nicholas Briggs, who plays the mysterious Vess.
Nicholas Briggs, yeah.
But briefly coming in, to this is, there's going to be William Russell as Ian, Carol Ann Ford as Susan, Maureen O'Brien as Vicky.
Wow.
Peter Purves as Stephen, Jean Marsh as Sarah.
Interesting enough, with all the companions that they've had, and this just seems interesting, I'm listening to the trailer, Charlie, if I'm not mistaken, is the only one that wasn't a televised companion. And if you listen to the trailer, it sounds like a lot of the story is going to follow her.
Well, Charlie's adventures have been very timey-wimey. She started out with the 8th Doctor, and then after traveling with the 8th Doctor, started traveling with the 6th Doctor, and so there's a lot of timey-wimey things going on with her character, and so it's befitting of the 50th anniversary to have a bunch of stuff on her, because she was a very important character in the Big Finish line.
Maybe Light at the End will actually touch up on that, the fact that she's so timey-wimey, and she's actually been a companion to a later Doctor first. And then...
Oh, yeah, because the later Doctor never knew who she was, and yet, he met her earlier, so, that was part of the storyline, was the timey-wimey. It wasn't just glossed upon, it was a major story arc.
A couple other people that are also going to be there is Polly, and also Fraser Hines as Jamie.
Oh, Anarchy Wills, Polly is going to be there?
Yeah.
Very good.
And Wendy Padbury as Zoe, Katie Manning as Joe.
Joe! They're basically getting
everybody.
everybody. They're basically getting everybody who does the Companion Chronicles to come in because they're there. Probably a couple of lines or something.
And Mark Strickson is Turlo.
Oh wow!
So I mean, it's a big cast list. It's very cool. And there actually is a synopsis out about what the drama is going to be about. November 23rd, 1963 proves to be a significant day in the lives of all 8 Doctors. It's the day that Bob Dovey's life is ripped apart. It's also a day that sets in motion a catastrophic chain of events which forces the first 8 incarnations of the Doctor to fight for their very existence. As a mysterious, insidious chaos unfolds within the TARDIS, the barriers of time break apart. From suburban England through war-torn alien landscapes and into a deadly artificial dimension, all these Doctors and their companions must struggle against the power of an unfathomable alien technology. From the very beginning, it is clear that the Master is somehow involved. Mm-hmm. By the end, for the Doctors, there may only be darkness.
And who's playing the Master in this?
It didn't say. And this audio drama is already available to pre-order. There's a standard 2-disc edition, and then they have a 5-disc limited collector's edition.
I'll put my money down soon.
The collector's edition, it's going to be pre-order. If you wanted a hard copy CD, it's $61.48, or a pre-order digital copy is $25.
And Jeffrey Beavers is playing the Master.
On the 5-disc limited special edition, it's discs 1 and 2 is going to be the Light at the End, the audio drama. Disc 3 is the making of the Light at the End. It's a 70-minute documentary. And disc 4 is this is Doctor Who at Big Finish, another 70-minute documentary. And disc 5 is Doctor Who: The Companion Chronicles.
The Revenants. It's an episode that they made before. It's got William Russell as Ian Chesterton. And it was supposed to be a very good story. I'm not sure if they ever released it, but they're going to release it in the deluxe edition.
And the standard edition is just the actual audio drama.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean, that's wow. That.
But you're right, and it's like I'm more excited for the audio drama than I am for the television show, and it should not be that way.
Yeah. I mean, geez, I'm usually somebody that when it comes to DVDs, I'm more than happy to just have the standard edition. But listening to Trish rattle off the goodies for that $65 5-disc special edition, I'm sorely tempted.
Well, I may do the $25 download.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, or I may do the download. I may get the CDs so I have like a hard copy to keep. Especially just in case the computer blows up or something. It's, I mean, it's just so tempting. I mean, this is getting me excited. I'm like, wow, this sounds so cool. And then, I hear from the BBC about their 50th, and I'm like, really? That's it? That's all you got? And I know that some people are saying, oh no, it's misdirection, you'll see. But I mean, even if it is, I think I've mentioned this before. I mean, even if it is, you're kind of doing it the wrong way, because instead of getting people excited, you have people nervous and worried, and that's not what you do to kind of drum up publicity for this.
I will wait for the special edition Walmart version to come out.
Oh, no.
With the 5-piece special and the action figure.
So I think that we at Mark 42's Universe, I think we should be doing a lot of news on Big Finish to get people excited about the 50th anniversary. And we'll still cover the BBC news, but I think we should also cover the Big Finish a lot, because it does sound very exciting.
Yes, it does.
And I mean, if anybody from BBC is listening to this and then, huddling in a corner crying and going, well, we're trying, just try a little harder. Nothing personal against you. It's just that this is 50 years of Doctor Who. We want something big. We want something spectacular. We want a bunch of doctors,
And he only gets to turn 50 once.
He only gets to turn 50 once, right? Ed, you have a special rapport with Mr. Moffat. Do you have anything you want to tell him?
All I gotta say is, look, dude, if it's misdirection, I understand. You want to keep stuff close to the vest, but come on. I mean, this, again, it's just, all we've been hearing is, so-and-so's not doing it, so-and-so's not doing it, so-and-so's not doing it, this person's not doing it, that person's not doing it, this person's not going to be in it, that person's not going to be in it. I mean, what are we going to get? This is 50 years of Doctor Who. Didn't Moffat make a quote about what he thinks the 50th should be about, Trish?
He says that it's important you don't turn it into a fan fest. We can't make this about looking backwards. It's actually got to be the start of a new story.
What's wrong with honoring the past? It's not going back. It's not. Why can't we look back? It's the 50th anniversary. That's the whole point of an anniversary, is to look back at the years and know that it's great and that it's only going to get better.
Yeah, see, there you go. See, I was going to go off on a rant, but you know what? Mark took the ball from me and ran it in for a touchdown. See, there was nothing wrong when we had the 3 doctors with Troughton and Hartnell joining Pertwee. There was nothing wrong in the 5 doctors. There was nothing wrong with having 4 doctors in the same room. There was nothing wrong with that. I don't understand why Moffat, it feels like Moffat is actually slighting the classic fans by saying, oh, well, what you want is lame. What I'm going to do is super cool.
However, he has, in the regular series, been showing homages to past doctors. Something happened in the Crimson Horror.
Okay, I mean, yeah, he's been throwing little things in here and there, and that's cute, but...
That does not make up for it.
Oh, it doesn't make up for it, no.
I mean,
in your final words to Mr. Moffat, what do you want to tell him?
Right now, I'm feeling insulted. I'm feeling a little insulted. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be, but, it just feels like this is a slight to the classic fans, and then seeing stuff like, we'll talk later on about what was in Crimson Horror, seeing little things like that, it's cool, but then when I think of this, I think, oh, this is just a bone, to get me to shut up. It's like, oh, they mentioned that. Oh, it's the 7th Doctor's umbrella. Okay, I'm good now. I'm going to behave. No, I'm sorry. I can't.
The views and expressions of this podcast are not necessarily those of the BBC, BBC America, or any of its affiliates. Thank you for playing. If you have any complaints, please email eduardo@whatever.com.
Mark42.com.
Sorry, I forgot your email.
And subject line, Ed, why are you saying all that stuff?
Hey, you want to take a shot? Come on, man. You want to take a shot at me? Go ahead. I'm standing right here.
News, Trish?
Nope, that is all the news for
Well, you know what that means.
Shameless plug time, no.
No, well, it's shameless plug time. It's time to hear commercial breaks for the GeekCast Radio Network and anything else I can find to throw in the commercial break. We'll be right back.
Take your drinks now in advance.
Oh, I think they're drunk. I don't think they're even listening anymore. We'll be right back.
Grab your helmets because it's time to assemble Mask. The GeekCast Radio Network has launched Masked Mayhem with your hosts Optimus Solo and TFG and Mike. This podcast covering all 75 episodes of Mask will feature in-depth analysis of every episode, talk on the toys, and more. Masked Mayhem will run 30 podcast episodes. You can find us in iTunes and on www.geekcastradio.com. Get your spectrums ready as podcasting is the ultimate weapon.
Kid? Yes? Shut up.
Beyond the Night is the GCRN's latest review podcast. We are covering everything in the Knight Rider television universe, from the classic 80s TV series to the 1991 reunion film, Team Knight Rider, and the 2008 relaunched series as well. So join TFG and Mike and Dion the Music Man as they go in-depth in Beyond the Night, only on GeekCast Radio Network. You can find Beyond the Night in iTunes and on www.geekcastradio.com.
Kid?
Yes, Michael.
Just keep driving.
And we're back. Thank you for listening to Marku 42's Whoniverse. I'm Mark Baumgarten, and with me, as I said before, are Trish Helm, Eduardo-m-freyre, and Christian-basel of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Don't forget to go to our Facebook page, Marku 42's Whoniverse, and contribute, guys, or write us at mark@marku42.com. Ed and I separately went to see Iron Man this weekend, didn't we?
So did I.
And I would just like to thank the Roxon Energy Company for being our new sponsor. That oil tanker accident was an accident.
I'd also like to thank Tony Stark for naming one of the most important pieces of armor that he has after us, Mark 42. I appreciate that. That was in the entire movie, Mark 42. Just forgot the Who there, but I think they couldn't fit that on the armor, the Who. So that was kind of cool. I think
what it is that Tony Stark didn't feel like paying us residuals to use the entire thing.
Yeah, I didn't get any money for that, so you're right. He probably was trying to do it. But Mark 42, Mark 42 was in Iron Man 3, so we're very proud of that. What's that noise? I hear something going off. It's the spoiler alert. We're about to be talking about the Crimson Horror, and the rest of this episode will have spoilers. So if you have not watched Doctor Who the Crimson Horror, please press pause on your audio player right now and watch it. And when you come back, and people who have seen it, we're going to start right now.
Yep, and that especially goes to that guy who's listening in his basement. You know who you are. I know that you were like, gee, do I really want to hit pause? Yes, you want to hit pause. Did you hit pause?
Because if you don't hit pause, we're not going to stop the sirens and the clocks.
There you go. Yep. Did you hit pause? Of course, yes, you did. Okay, good boy. Okay, now sit down and listen. There you go. Good boy.
That was the spoiler alert alarm? That was the spoiler alert alarm?
That was that noise was
that sounds exactly like my neighbor's car alarm going off, so I don't know if you borrowed that from him.
We did it just to annoy him. If he listens to the podcast, it sounds just like his car alarm going off. We're trying to see how many times he gets up, runs to the car, doesn't hear anything, comes back.
Excellent. He does this every Sunday.
Okay, so
Great.
What did everyone here think of the Crimson Horror? Ed?
I had the same thought about the Crimson Horror that I did with Hyde. It was a great episode, but it could have been better, especially if they would have taken out the Clara stuff. Once again, they
really didn't have the Clara stuff. They kept skirting the issue.
Well, but see, that's the thing. I knew in my heart of hearts, I knew this was coming, and I didn't want to acknowledge it. But yeah, having a running joke, Jenny going, "Wait, but Clara's dead," and then the Doctor having to go, "It's complicated," or telling Madame Vashtra, "It's a long story." I was just, honestly, if there was any way that it could have been avoided, I kind of wish, because it was just a reminder that we have this hanging over our heads. But
I think that was an homage to the I'll Explain Later, which was everywhere on the classic series.
Yeah.
I'll Explain Later. And then you never explain it.
Again, just the fact that it's just a reminder that we have this hanging over our heads, and I didn't want to be reminded of that. And then also, and when we get to it, I did not like the ending to the episode. I did not.
Well, that's
it.
how we get the extra people that we said were in Nightmare in Silver in the synopsis the other day.
Yeah, but I mean, when we talk about the finale, I mean, we knew that we were getting extra people, but then, Trish and I are watching the episode, and when we saw who the extra people were, we were both going, no.
Trish, what did you think of the episode?
I liked a lot of it, but like Ed said, I did not like the ending. I'm not looking forward to seeing those two kids in the next episode and of all the episodes, why do they have to be in the Cybermen episode? Because
it takes place in an amusement park. That's why the Doctor's probably taking them to the amusement park. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense, but still, I'm sorry. I don't know if we're going to... Do we want to talk about the ending now? Or
we'll leave it for later. We'll timey-wimey until later.
Okay. But, I thought overall the episode was pretty good. It was definitely different. And who else kind of thought that, the monster, as Ada called whoever she was feeding in that room, who immediately thought it was the Doctor?
Oh, I knew it was the Doctor.
I did too.
There's nothing stopping me from knowing that.
I didn't think that it was. At first, I didn't think it was the Doctor. I mean, at first, I thought that was going to be Mr. Sweet, but then when it was revealed to be the Doctor, a light went off in my head, and I was like,
Now, Christian, you and I think, have the same opinion on this episode.
I actually thought for once it has kind of the redeeming factors. It redeemed itself.
It did. Doctor Who is back.
Yeah, it actually had a storyline. And here's a question that I'm posting on Legend-of-the-Traveling-tardis, which is fun. Is it time for the trio to finally get their own spin-off that people have been shouting about? Vashtra, Jenny, and Strax. Which is a big question on a lot of fans' minds. But I like their use of them. I'm in love with Jenny. That's all I got to say. Sorry, Vashtra. Ever since she stripped off that suit and started whipping butt in that one scene, I fell in love with Jenny.
Yeah,
God.
Eddie,
in love with Jenny.
Eddie, what did you call her?
Yeah, I thought that I called her, and I called that moment, I called it Victorian Black Widow. Here she is in like a Victorian era leather catsuit and just whipping people like Scarlett Johansson did in Iron Man 2. I mean, I thought that was incredible. I was like, okay, now I see why she and Madame Vashtra are together.
Hey, Zombie Apocalypse, she's on my team. That's all I'm gonna say. She's on my team.
You know what? I would pick all three. Especially Strax.
Oh, there you go.
Especially Strax because he would not. I don't think Strax would have any problems with the idea of double tapping in the head.
There you
go. If anything, he'd probably just grab his laser gun and be like, "Thank you, sir. It is an honor," and just dive in, laughing gleefully.
I love, even though because I'm old school, I love the Tegan Jovenka references.
Oh God,
yes.
That was beautiful. Mark-gatiss has a way when he writes and putting in a reference to Tegan and then Braveheart Clara. Oh,
yeah, no,
that brought a tingle to my spine.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting. It's interesting because I mean I've said it before that I would love to see Tegan back. And I even mentioned it in Cold War. After Clara had her little freak out. It would have been interesting to have Tegan back and kind of talk to the new companion and be like, hey, why are you hanging out with him?
Well, it kind of does give that reflection for me, it gave that reflection to Clara. Because she's still going like, why am I really traveling with this guy? I mean, he's exciting, he's wonderful, but it's dangerous. And to me, this is one of the few episodes where the companion and the Doctor failed. Somebody else had to come and bail them out.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for our favorite trio, they would have been stuck where they were.
Well, our favorite trio basically carried the first third of the episode. The Doctor was nowhere to be found. Well, he was to be found. He was found in the cell.
I got to admit, though, a part of me would have wished that the trio would have been the focus for more of the episode than they were.
I was hoping for a Doctor Light episode.
I was hoping that we wouldn't get the reveal of the Doctor being the monster until like halfway through, or even 3/4 of a way through, and then have it just be the three of them infiltrating Sweetville and finding out its secrets.
Right.
But you guys already knew when you said it. You already knew he was, and I kind of like the second time that she went up to the monster, I kind of knew it was like, oh, that's where he is, and kind of got the hang of it. And I do love that retro scene with the broken film and the flash pictures.
Yes, that was
showing this. I thought that was a very
that
unique way of saying, okay, here's the story in 10 seconds that you need to know, and it worked. It really worked out there.
Yeah.
Now,
Mark, definitely.
Mark Gatiss.
Yes.
Mark Gatiss. I gotta say.
Oh, Mark Gatiss. Yeah, that's not me.
I gotta say something, but this is typical when it gets corny and cheesy and that, but still you're gonna love it. The Thomas joke.
Oh,
that was okay. I thought
my girlfriend and I, when Tom, because that's who he was, Tom was talking. Before we knew his name, we were saying, "Oh, his name's going to be Tom," and it was Tom.
I have to
saw
admit,
that coming a mile away. That was hysterically funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Although I got to admit, a part of me was kind of waiting for there to be something more to the joke, like maybe for Tom to turn out to be something from the TARDIS. Because the way I get it. The delivery mimics the GPS.
That's what it was.
I got the joke. The anachronistic nature of the joke kind of had me holding out for more to the punchline.
Wait a minute, Ed, I gotta get my thesaurus. You're using those big words again. Hang on.
Too bad. English major here, Christian. Deal with it.
I had a grade school.
Deal with it, Christian. I'm an English major, okay?
Well, that's good.
If you can handle it, go sit in the corner.
I can't.
Can you spell anti-disestablishmentarianism?
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Did you notice that you probably might have been a little bit glad about this, that the Doctor did not use his sonic screwdriver hardly at all in this entire episode?
No, in fact, it went limp at one point.
Well, he got changed.
Did you catch that? When Jenny got into her Black Widow outfit, it kind of went down.
Oh, I love this.
See, it was interesting. I mean, when the two times he was going to use the sonic screwdriver, Jenny decided to go kick ass, and then the second time, Clara decided, let's just go old school and use a chair.
Now, I do have one question. The transformation of Monster Doctor back to Doctor in that booth. What was that booth? What was that?
Well, he was. It looks like when they were, she was dipping them. It was like making candles. She was like dipping them into this wax, and so he was basically covered with this waxy buildup or whatever it was, and he gets put into this like heated steam closet and melted.
So you think it was a steam closet that melted because he used the sonic for that? The sonic, I think, has caused the heat in that room, if that's what it was, to melt the wax.
Well, later, he put Clara in there, and he's like, "Oh, she's almost done."
Yeah,
so I think it's
They didn't actually explain that well enough.
That's a little. Yeah, that did seem like it was kind of melting off. He was kind of sweating off he was kind of sweating it off, and I do have to say that hearing him say, "Oh, she's almost done," I'm, picturing like microwave instructions, to properly thaw out a waxed companion. You put for 90 seconds. Every 30 seconds, please take out, rotate. The guys who make the Doctor Who action figures. I kind of wonder if they saw this episode and they're already picturing in their heads, okay, we're going to have the Doctor in his long johns with the whole red waxed horror face. Let's make that figure now. And they're probably already thinking of a Jenny with the cat suit underneath. You just take off the stuff on top, and there's the cat suit underneath.
I got that pre-ordered already.
I'm sure you do, Christian. I'm sure you do.
And I'm going to pre-order my 11th Doctor George Hamilton lookalike.
Thank you. I was waiting for someone to say that.
Yeah, and I do have to say that the sounds the Doctor was making. I mean, just the sounds coming out of his mouth as it's like slack-jawed open, and just the sounds of him moving. That was unnerving. That was. I think that's going in the hide behind the couch file.
I think I said when I saw the woman on the dead woman on the table and she was all orange, I think I said, Daddy, I think I said, oh, I guess maybe that factory is Willy Wonka's factory.
It did look like Willy Wonka's factory. Sweetville looked like...
No, but like the Oompa Loompas are escaping.
The gates
Oompa Loompa doopity-do, we want a union, Wonka said no.
Yeah.
He got the strike breakers doopity-doo. Now my head is bashed open with goo.
I love Trish. I so love
Trish.
Hands off, man. She's mine.
Not in that respect, sir. I just love Trish. I do
Back up.
One of the things I do like is that kick butt moment, which we've mentioned in the past. When the Doctor confronts the Atraxes and he basically tells them to run. We had that kick butt moment when the Doctor turns to her and says, "I'm the Doctor and you're nuts and I'm going to stop you." I love that line.
Oh,
I just simply adored that line. It's just blazing.
They take that from Saturday Night Live. I'm Chevy Chase and you're nuts.
But I don't know quite if it was an SNL reference, but
it was.
Actually, on a serious note, I kind of reference it more to the Tom Baker era, when Tom Baker would just walk in and just say these corny lines to just show his superiority in the room. Oh, wonderful butler, he's so violent, hi. And he just walks around and just says, I got this thing, I got it. You're the bad guy. Let me tell you off right now. And definitely. Yeah, it feels. Christian has it right. It definitely feels more Tom Baker-ish. And speaking of, since we're now on something like that, I gotta say that Diana-Rigg made for an awesome villain for this episode.
Oh yeah.
I do have to admit, I kind of would have liked a little more into her motivation. And, kind of a little more explanation into why she's doing this. And I don't know, I have this bad feeling that, her referencing a coming apocalypse is another one of Moffat's patented, ooh, let's plant the seed for this,
Well, I think the coming apocalypse would have been the red rain falling down. Red rain, it keeps coming down. Red rain.
Yeah, no, I hope so.
Apologies to Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, it's kind of like, she was talking about, Mr. Sweet, that little prehistoric leech,
Mm-hmm.
that she was saying that, he feeds off the filth of, of the world right there. And I think
it was feeding off her.
Yeah, but, she was saying, that this thing, feeds off the filth of the world. And I think that she thought what she was doing was she was cleansing the world. She's getting together all the perfect people.
Right.
And then she's going to kill everybody else off so that, her perfect pilgrims, I think she called them that, are going to, wake up to a brand new world. I think that was her motivation.
Yeah. I have a question, though. If the slug, or whatever, if the slug...
I like
he was cute.
Yeah, I referred to my nickname for Mr. Sweet was Evil Quado. I was waiting for Mr. Sweet to... just turn away from Diana-Rigg, look at the Doctor, and go, Quaid.
Horse, you have failed in your mission.
Mr. Sweet obviously ate salt. And my question is, what was Mr. Sweet's motivation? What was Mr. Sweet's motivation? Why would it do what it's doing if it eats salt? It's not to eat all the people it kills with its venom. What's Mr. Sweet's motivation?
He's a leech. He doesn't have motivation. He just wants to live. Just to live.
It doesn't need to kill everyone to live. It just needs salt.
If she was feeding it salt, maybe Mr. Sweet is like the salt vampire in that episode of Star Trek.
Well, yeah, the man trap. But But
I don't think he had any motivation. I think she found Mr. Sweet, and then when she, didn't know how to explain him because, it's this prehistoric leech thing, it's just in her own mind, she came up with this whole thing.
Okay.
And who know, and she's also getting part of his venom, with him being attached to her, that's probably messed with her head. I mean, it's all this is her, I don't think that's anything, it doesn't have any, but the thing is that I don't think, it has any motivation except to just survive.
Right.
Because, as soon as she was dying, he's like, I'm out of here,
Yeah.
So
the little leech is going up to Saul Messtein, who's the director, going, "What is my motivation? That I'm sitting on her left bosom and just sitting there eating salt. What is my motivation?"
His motivation is he is being held close to the chest of Diana-Rigg.
See that? Okay, I that I can buy. I if I was a slug, that would be where I'd want to be.
We'll let Randy know you said that. We'll let Randy know.
No,
Randy, if Mark's ever a slug, he wants to be attached to Diana-Rigg.
If I'm ever a slug, I want to be to Katrin Stewart. There you go.
If I'm ever a slug, I want Nancy. Does anyone get that joke, Nancy and Sluggo?
I get it.
It's an old comic strip.
Yeah, I get it.
So, tell me, what about this daughter that Diana-Rigg's character had?
I think Rachel Sterling did an awesome job. I think
great job. I love
the two.
Yeah, no, that moment where she walks in and she just unloads on her mom. That was.
I thought we were going to have a beating to death of an old lady. I was kind of excited.
Yeah, no. Well, we did.
Don't listen, Grandma's listening. I didn't say that.
I was yelling, "Hit her harder! Hit her harder!"
Yeah, I think one of my I think my dad and his classmates used to say that to one of his teachers who used to hit the students when he was in private school. Yeah.
For what Mark just said, this podcast is not the reflection of the BBC America, or any of its affiliates. Thank you very much. Any problems can go to markuniverse42.com. Thank you very much.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, we're going to have to explain the whole thing.
Mark, we didn't get an old lady beating, but yeah, Ida, she went to town on Mr. Sweet. That was,
awesome.
I mean, Jesus. I when I saw that, I was, I told Trish, I was thinking back to this joke in The Simpsons, where a little kid going, stop, he's already dead.
But I think it just
Doctor just shrugged and went,
Well, I mean, given how pissed off Ida was, I mean, what, did you want to interrupt that? Because, I mean, hell, if I was there, I'd be like, okay, I'm not in on this.
But I think in the previous episodes, like Cold War, where we wanted more of the captain and David Warner's character, the professor, and other characters we wanted to develop, I think we just had the right now between Ada and Mrs. Gillyflower. Yeah. That was just enough.
I do love when Mrs. Gillyflower is lying dying. I do love that moment where she goes, she says to her daughter, "Oh, forgive me," and the daughter's just like, "Yeah, no, you're a sucky mom." And I kind of love that twist where Mrs. Gillyflower is like, "Oh, good girl." Like she's actually praising her daughter for not, getting all wishy-washy right at the end.
Yeah.
I think and also speaking of her death, one of the complaints I had when we were going over last week's episode, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, is just how kind of unsatisfying it felt that, we had the jerk brother,
brother, that's right. We named him Jerk Brother.
Yeah, we named him, yeah. I refuse to call him Gregor. I call him the Jerk Brother. But, I expressed kind of the unsatisfying feeling that the Jerk Brother basically messed with his younger brother's life. He had to make him a cyborg to save him, but then, mind wiped him and said, "Oh, you're a robot that we get to have as our metal butt monkey." And that, he basically got away, his actions were not, he didn't get to pay for his actions. And it was kind of nice that in this episode, Miss Gillyflower had to pay the piper. There was no moment where she got to get away with it. There was no moment where it's like, oh, well, she'll just get we took out the parasite, she'll live, and she's now, but, no, she killed people, she experimented on her daughter, she was a monster who tried to cloak herself in righteousness.
Yeah.
And, seeing her get her comeuppance, it felt, it was a marked difference from last week where, because of a little, timey-wimey, jerk brother didn't get what was coming to him.
Right.
So it was kind of nice here that, she tried to shoot at the doctor, she tried to kill her daughter, and she got what's coming to her. She got into a gunfight with Strax and, ended up falling off the railing. And the thing I noticed, when Trish and I saw the episode a second time, the thing I noticed is she didn't just fall off the railing and, go straight down. She hit
you could hear the thuds. You heard the thuds of her hitting the sides of the staircase.
She went down, and she went down hard. I mean, I got flashbacks to the 1986 Transformers animated movie where Optimus Prime punches out Megatron, and Megatron smacks into a landing before hitting the ground.
You said metal butt monkey. I'm still loving that.
And on that note, we're going to go to a commercial break. We got to clean his mouth out with soap. We'll be right back.
Me or him?
We got to clean out his mind with soap. That's what we got to do.
We'll be right back. Doctor Who began its long history back in 1963 and continues to this day. With the worldwide popularity of the show, can you believe that there was a long period of time when the show was absent from the airwaves? We call that the wilderness year. All was not lost, though, during those 16 years. Virgin Publishing and then BBC Books had several original Doctor Who novel lines featuring all the past Doctors and companions. These books are all out of print now, but where can you get them? At Mark Who 42 Books on Amazon. If you love to read and love Doctor Who, these books are cool. If you're a diehard Whovian needing to fill in gaps of your collection, fantastic! We also have annuals and reference manuals. All books are in new and like-new condition. If you're interested, go to amazon.com/shops/markwho42 and see for yourself. That's amazon.com/shops/markwho42.
Tooncast is dedicated to the cartoons we grew up with. 100 episodes and more make up one of the GCRN's most popular podcasts. Join hosts TFG and Mike, Optimus Solo, Terror the Rising Star, and tons of guest hosts. We also have voice actor and writer interviews. Tune in to Tooncast as we look back on the cartoons that defined us as geeks. You can find Tooncast on iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. Tune in.
And we're back. Okay, this, of course, is Mark Who 42's Universe. I'm Mark Baumgarten, Trish Helm, Eduardo-m-Freyre, Christian-basel.
We're having him write on the blackboard. I will not start giggling at potty humor. What did we agree on? Was it 200 times or 300?
300 times.
Or did we do like the teachers I had in private school, and it's just start writing and we'll tell you to stop?
You know what? That's a good idea.
That's a good idea? Yeah, okay, so Christian, keep writing. Christian, keep writing.
We're going to keep writing till the end of the broadcast while we continue our show here.
And any amount that you write is still going to be not enough.
Anyway, before the commercial, on the serious note, if that can happen, I like, following up on Ed's note, I actually do appreciate the characters more in the family fight than Journey to the Center of the TARDIS in this one, because it seemed like the stakes were even higher with the mother-daughter, and including into the storyline, which I thought had made it stronger, this Nazi mentality of the perfect world, perfect society, but you don't fit. I thought that just pushed it even further and harder. So when she takes out that stick and starts hitting Mom and hitting the little wormy guy, it really impacted. And we knew her pain, her hate, and everything that's driven to her to that point, which just increased the emotional level of, when she goes whacking at that alien, everybody's going, nope, don't touch her. Let her do her thing.
Not to mention the fact that when she delivers that line that, in this bright new, you don't fit in the bright new world, you belong in the dark.
Exactly.
The thing is that she was the one who blinded her own daughter, so it's her fault, but apparently according to the gospel, according to Miss Gillyflower, I'm the one who blinded you, but hey, it's your fault for being so weak and getting blinded in the first place. Right. So I mean that just makes it that just drives it even more.
Yeah.
And which added to that final episode in the line, which I'm looking for the lines in every episode that really coin the episode itself. But when Ada says, it's time to come out of the dark and into the light, that's what the whole episode was. It's just, revealing yourself, coming out and, being what you are and not being ashamed of what you are. And when people take you down, you will fight back.
To kind of play a little opposite thing, yeah, I kind of have to. I have to laugh at the character of Mr. Thursday. It seems like every scene he was in, something made him pass out. He passed out. He passed out when he saw Madame Vashtra without her veil. He passed out when he met Strax for the first time, and then he passes out when he sees the TARDIS dematerialize. I gotta wonder what is this guy. I gotta wonder what does this guy do for a living? Because I hope it's a really relaxed, calm job, because if he's gonna pass out like this, and honestly, I hope he goes to see a doctor. Passing out like that, I don't know. One of these days he's gonna hit his head.
Oh,
he hasn't already.
Level. He needs more sugar.
Yeah, he needs more sugar. Needs to kind of just I don't know. Again, hopefully his job is very tranquilo, very very relaxed. Because man, if he's gonna be dropping to the ground at the drop of a hat. Hell, I think my nickname for this episode is The Adventures of Mr. Thursday Passing Out.
There was one scene in this that I had a slight problem with, only because of if you're going with how you're supposed to suspend your disbelief. When the rocket ship, and yes, there was a rocket ship in this one. It took place in 1993, but they built a rocket. The rocket is blasting off. Everybody is standing on the stairs that go around its launch pad. And when it goes up, no one died of being burnt to death.
I thought about that too.
That was the only thing I really had a problem with in this episode, and it wasn't a real problem because so you couldn't kill off every character from that. So, but that was a little bit of a scientific boo-boo, if you will. They should have all fried. They should have all been dead.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was just because this was a kind of a steampunky thing. Maybe the flames and the exhaust wouldn't be the equivalent of a modern day rocket. But I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there for a no prize.
Yeah. Get your no prize here.
I'm just throwing out something for a no prize. If BBC, if you're listening and you want to say, yeah, that's it, that's the explanation. Okay, you can go ahead. I'll let you take it. If you have another one, then hey, let us know. You'd be very curious.
So the BBC would send out a no prize to you. That would be cool.
Yeah, or just if they ever have to reference it in another episode, just have the doctor go, oh yes, Victorian rockets, not as much exhaust and flames as a modern rocket. Good thing too, so you could watch it really up close and not get burned. I mean,
they better pay you for that if they put.
Well, they don't have to pay me. Just give me a shout out somewhere. I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I'm easy. I'm easy like that.
In the DVD release, they're going to edit Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Rips off his head. Get over here! Fry them all. Where did that come from? Now let's explain.
Posty.
Oh Lord.
So should we talk about the ending now?
Oh, yeah. Talk about the ending.
I know you, Eddie, have a problem with the Doctor dropping Clara off, that you want to have a permanent companion on the TARDIS again. But, I don't know. I don't really have a problem with that, but I have a problem with the kids. It's how the heck did they find the pictures of Clara? Or why would they even be going looking for them in the first place? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, but
no,
yeah,
I think it's too convenient.
It was too convenient. It definitely was
too convenient. And really, and again, it goes back to the fact that the problem with the Clara mystery is we really haven't had any forward movement. It's just, well, wait a minute, but if she's this and she's this, but then what's the deal with this? And we had a picture of Victorian Clara. It's like, oh, and what were you doing in Victorian London? And then modern Clara being like, no, I was in Victorian Yorkshire. And that's the only time that really, I think the mystery, at least now she's aware of the mystery, but, we're getting a scene like this now towards the end.
I'm sorry, but I usually hate stories when they bring kids in. Because it's like, then you start to get all this schmaltzy crap with kids. And instead of it being, like an, action-packed adventure, it turns into more of a sentimental, something. And it's just like, I'm just trying to figure out what they're going to do with these kids on this next episode. And is it going to be like, and it's with the Cybermen, and is it going to be something like the kids are the ones that figure out how to stop them? It's the doctor that's supposed to be doing the saving and figuring out stuff. And I don't want it to be the kids. I really don't want it to be the kids. I want them gone already. It's like I haven't even seen the episode, and I want them gone.
Yeah, no, and to me, sorry.
As my brother put it last night when he saw that the kids were on there, he's not for it either. He said, oh my God, this show does not need 2 cousin Olivers.
Yeah,
Does anybody else get that joke?
Yeah, no, I get that joke. When I don't know, when I saw that it was going to be the kids on the TARDIS, I'm going, oh God, no, because this is, first of all, I'm hoping that they're not going to be these wise guy kids that all of a sudden are like, oh, we're smarter than the adults. It's like, oh, don't you have Twitter, Doctor? Or oh, don't you use Google? The Doctor trying to be smart and go, listen, kid, I have the TARDIS. The TARDIS has something 50 times cooler than Google. But that's beside the point. The other thing that comes through my head, Trish mentioned it, that it'll become schmaltzy and over saccharine. Like, I'm picturing scenes where like the Doctor or Clara are like, one step closer to being cyber people, and the kids are all crying and getting emotional and going, no, Clara, don't turn into a cyber person. We love you. Come back. And it's the power of love that brings them back.
But you realize bringing the kids into it is perfectly normal in the new Doctor Who. It's like when they brought in Jackie Tyler and Mickey Smith and had them on episodes in Adventures. The family, the backstory. Clara was introduced with this family, and she hasn't had any backtracking to them except being dropped off. Bringing her supporting cast into further episodes.
But then again, this is the thing, though. Mickey Smith, had a purpose, and he showed that he was capable of contributing. And there was, these kids.
Think about it also in the fact that Neil Gaiman does write for children. He does write for children, and he has children in his stories. And
this is the thing, though. You do bring up an interesting point, because the only thing that gives me a ray of hope is the fact that Neil Gaiman is the writer of this episode. So hopefully, what Trish and I are afraid of will not happen, because honestly, I'm not. I have this nightmare in my head. Next week's episode, I'm not thinking of it as Nightmare in Silver. I'm calling it Nightmare because of the ridiculous little kids. That's me. I'm hoping that because it's Neil Gaiman that it won't go there, because I really want to enjoy this episode. I've been looking forward to it.
And now you're starting to get scared and think,
I'm starting to get scared because, you drop in the kids and then it becomes, oh, let's see the kids being cute and clever. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, the kids are going to do like Charlie and Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory and go into the room they're not supposed to go into. Ha, 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 ha. No, I don't want that. I don't want that, especially because you have you have Cybermen in an amusement park. The potential for cool stuff, the potential for great hide behind the couch moments, and
behind the sofa. I don't know. Where
behind
are you
the couch, sofa, love seat, bed, whatever, whatever you hide behind, the covers. I don't know. Fill in the blank.
When do we get to IKEA?
Well, it's just like I can see these little kids, doing the whole, I'm going to wander off on my own because, I know better than everybody else.
Exactly.
You guys are using the analogies of Jackie Tyler and Mickey Smith. I'm thinking more, and I am kind of on the frightened side with Ed and Trish to say I'm looking more of when they incorporated Adam And when he first walked into the TARDIS, I'm like, why do we need Adam? What is he doing into the TARDIS? And that's something that Rose pulled in to show off, where the places where everything. So I'm going to have trust in Neil. It's just like the 50th anniversary, the Doctor's name. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to see what happens next. I am anti what you guys are feeling about the ending because I like the fact, and this is the only time that this has actually happened in the series, is Rose, where people going back in time actually now it catches up to them. It's like, like the Doctor was shown, on the Titanic and on, I think it was a Croatia when the volcano went off.
Krakatoa.
Krakatoa. I'm sorry, Krakatoa. And when these things are happening, now we're actually seeing the past into the future. And how it reacts. So I kind of like that scene where the kids kind of brought it up to her and go, "Hey, what are you doing back here? What's our nanny doing back in time?"
Although, I do have to wonder, how the hell did those two pictures end up online?
Think back to the episode of Rose when she's trying to find out about the Doctor, and all she finds is that one little website that has pictures of him and these grainy pictures at that. And she had to go see that crazy guy. I don't remember his name. Clive, thank you. Okay. Well, she had to go see him to even talk about the Doctor, and he shows her all these, pictures, and it's like the only thing on the internet about it. But now all of a sudden, here comes these two kids have these crystal clear pictures of the Doctor.
Hold on. Even more important, the Clara Dalek erased him off of every internet thingy around the universe. There should be no pictures of the Doctor anywhere.
Right. The Clara Dalek erased the Doctor's information, to the point where it was a plot point in the first half of season 7 that people would look up and say, "Oh, there's no data on you."
Right.
Secondly, the other thing is, okay, so in these two instances, for example, we had a picture of Clara and the Doctor with the crew from the Russian sub from Cold War. So apparently, while they were heading to Antarctica to pick up the TARDIS, they handed a camera to one of the other crew members, and it's like, "Hey, let's pose for a picture."
Yes.
What
exactly,
did?
100%. That's what happened.
I mean, what did the time traveler from Hyde? Did she take a camera, take a picture of them?
Well, that one you can't.
Or what? Does the Crooked Man know how to use a camera?
Yes, the Crooked Man used a Polaroid. Very good.
He used the they taught the Crooked Man how to use a Polaroid camera. It's like, "Hey, since we rescued you and reunited you with your girlfriend, hey, can you take this picture?"
The sad part is the ending that we're complaining about was probably not written by mark-gatiss, but was probably written by Stephen Moffat himself to lead into the next story as a script editing.
I would not be surprised. The other thing, my other complaint with the photos is what? Unit and Torchwood are both friends of the Doctor. They're not going to be patrolling the net to try and take care of this stuff.
Well, Torchwood really doesn't exist anymore. If you saw Torchwood Miracle Day.
Well, they're still active. I mean, they're still active. They probably still have computer access. And if not Torchwood, come on, Unit. Unit is right now led by Kate Stewart. The Doctor is a family friend. She wouldn't have people looking around, and she wouldn't say, there's a picture of the Doctor from 1974. You may want to block that. Do something to block the site. There's a picture of the Doctor on a Russian sub in the 1980s. You may want to get rid of that.
I don't believe in censorship of any kind.
Well, no, but I'm saying this is the Doctor, and it's kind of one of those things where he has to be kept a secret.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why didn't any of the Doctor's friends jump in? I mean, hell, even. Okay, this would be even a real reach due to real-world circumstances. What, Mr. Smith is not running a program constantly?
Let's bring Sarah Jane in here. Yeah.
With all due respect, Liz Sladen, rest in peace. We miss you. But you get the idea. The Doctor has friends, and they're not watching this. Trying to stop this from leaking out.
It's a good point.
I mean, everybody was asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
They might be too busy with their own stuff that's going on.
I was about to say I'd like to end the show, but you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to end the show with a little bit about the Fourth Doctor Revisited, because I know you watched that last week.
Yes. And I think Trish and I were in agreement. This was much better.
Thank God.
This was much better, especially because we got a previous Doctor. They did have Louise Jameson. They had It was Nicholas Briggs. Right? It was Nick Briggs, right, Trish?
Yes, Nick.
Yeah, it was Nicholas Briggs, and they had John Leeson too, the voice of Canine.
Excellent.
So they popped in a lot more people who were involved with the show at the time. If there are any complaints, it's that the Fourth Doctor, being the one who has had the title the longest, he could have really benefited from an expanded episode.
Right.
Because they didn't even touch on Romana or any,
Yeah, they didn't touch on Romana. They didn't touch on Deadly Assassin, which I think you can argue is a pretty important episode in Doctor Who history.
Yeah.
Because we get our first, major look at Gallifrey. They didn't touch on that. So yeah, he could have really benefited from a really nice expanded special. But it was a great improvement. I'm hoping that this is a sign of things to come. Like when we get the Fifth Doctor revisited this month, I'm hoping that we get Peter Davison there. I'm hoping that they call Matt Waterhouse. I'm hoping we get Sarah Sutton. We get that when we get Tegan, I'm hoping they get Turlough. I'm hoping that again, this is a sign of things to come, where we start to get more and more people who were involved at the time with the way things, things were done. We get their ideas on what it was like, instead of having Stephen Moffat oh, this was so cool when this happened, and no, this is so great. It's I don't care what you think, especially because here he is gushing about the Fourth Doctor,
right,
gushing at how cool he is, and there's no sign of the Fourth Doctor in the 50th. So it's don't tell me how much you love this guy, and then say, oh, well, but we're not going to use him because this is not about looking back. It's okay, then, it just feels to me like you're, sorry, I'm losing it, but you get the idea.
I get the idea. I also get the idea that we're about out of time this week. It's sad.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave out on an upbeat note, which is Stephen Moffat loves the Fourth Doctor, but is not is going to leave him out in the cold for the 50th anniversary. It's a very positive note.
Yeah, I wish we had a positive note. Well, I have a positive note. No matter what, even if there are kids in Nightmare in Silver, I think it's going to be a fantastic episode by Neil Gaiman, and we're going to enjoy it, and we'll be bringing you all the information on that next week when we see you, or rather you listen to us here on Mark Who 42's Whoniverse. Check out our Facebook page, go to markwho42.com, tweet us at markwho42. Anything else? Oh, the books, of course, at amazon.com/shop/markwho42. Anyone else want to plug anything else? I know we already plugged your performance at Tamarack, right?
Yeah, and well, you know what? Since you ended things on a positive note, I think I'm going to be fair. I need to end things on a positive note as well. My positive note is Diana-Rigg is awesome. Not only was she awesome in the Crimson Horror, just watch this season of Game of Thrones. She's awesome in it too. So there you go. My positive note is Diana-Rigg equals awesome. Oh, and also Strax equals hilariously funny for a homicidal, gun-toting alien warrior.
Christian, do you have any positive notes to leave on?
He said metal butt monkey.
Darn it!
Bye.
Darn it!
Bye, everyone.
Oh, jeez. Get back in the corner. Get back in the corner. You're going to write on the blackboard again. Get back in the corner. Trish, help me drag him to the corner.
Hedgewick's World, the biggest and best amusement park there will ever be.
It closed down. Reports of people just vanishing. No need to panic, my young friends. We all know there are no more living Cybermen.
Attack formation quickly!
Don't wander off.
Take defensive positions.
Hail to you, the Doct, savior of the Cyber!
Mark Who 42's Whoniverse has been written and presented by Mark Baumgarten, Patricia-Helm, Eduardo-m-Freyre, and Christian-basel. Audio and sound by Mark Baumgarten. The show was co-produced by Patricia-Helm, Mark Baumgarten, and Eduardo-m-Freyre, and edited and directed by Mark Baumgarten. Doctor Who and his properties are owned by the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. Please remember to rate us and listen to us on iTunes and the Stitcher Radio app, and comment on our broadcast at geekcastradio.com. Tweet us at markwho42, and check out our Facebook page, markwho42's Whoniverse. We can be contacted by email at mark@markwho42.com with the subject line, ? This podcast is owned and copyrighted by Mark Baumgarten et al. 2013.